Today I'm going to be discussing some confusion and common misconceptions about foam rolling the lower back, and then I'm going to discuss the real dangers of foam rolling. What's going on, everybody? It's Blake Bowman here with Gorilla Zen Fitness, and my objectives for today's video are twofold. The first thing I want to discuss are the reasons why a lot of professionals recommend that you don't foam roll the lower back, and the second thing I want to discuss are the actual dangers associated with foam rolling. To begin, a lot of people have been asking me if it's okay to foam roll their lower back because I demonstrate this in a lot of my videos, and people have heard that it's not advisable to roll the lower back. And after digging into this a little bit, I discovered that there's an article floating around the internet that's been posted on various different respected websites that is actually telling people to not foam roll their lower back. For your reference, I actually included a copy of the article in the description down below. So in the article called 5 Foam Rolling Mistakes, the 5th mistake is foam rolling the lower back. And the author goes on to quote some National Academy of Sports Medicine certified personal trainer who says that it's not advisable to foam roll the lower back because people's spinal muscles will contract and spasm, kind of negating the whole point of rolling the lower back. Digging into that even further, I found an article directly on the National Academy of Sports Medicine's website, kind of explaining their rationale behind why they don't recommend people foam roll their lower backs. I've also included that in the description down below. Essentially, their main argument was that most people, and keyword there is most, cannot control the position of their spine when they're on a roller with a diameter of 5 inches, which is the typical average for most foam rollers on the market. One of their concerns is that if somebody is rolling their lower back on one of these 5-inch foam rollers and they totally relax, they're going to go into hyperextension at the lumbar spine, which is generally accepted to be something that's not advantageous. Okay, that's going to look something like this. Their second concern or issue with foam rolling the lower back is that if somebody doesn't relax completely, what they're assuming this person is going to do is just contract all of their trunk muscles, including their spinal erectors, okay, their erector spinae muscle group in their lower back. So basically their concern there is if you're contracting the muscles in your lower back that you're trying to release, that's kind of like trying to stretch a muscle that you're contracting or flexing and squeezing. It's not going to work and you're just spinning your wheels. Now, while this advice to not foam roll the lower back applies to some people and it definitely has merit, it certainly doesn't apply to everyone. For example, if you're an advanced athlete or just somebody who's just very well conditioned and you have a lot of anterior core strength and stability in the rectus abdominis, your obliques, and your transversus abdominis, you should have enough neuromuscular control to contract the front of your body while releasing those spinal muscles while you're rolling out. For example, if you're an athlete or somebody that's just really well conditioned and you have a lot of anterior core strength and stability in your rectus abdominis, your abs, your external oblique, internal oblique muscle fibers, and your transversus abdominis, then you shouldn't have a problem controlling the position of your spine while rolling. You should have enough neuromuscular control in the front of your torso here to prevent that hyperextension from occurring. Now, this is how you should be foam rolling the lower back. If you watch the rest of this video and determine that you're one of the people that can roll out the lower back safely, then this is how you do it. You keep your anterior core musculature as tight and turned on as possible. Okay, you never let your abs go lax here, okay? Keep this really, really tight, okay? And try to bring some relaxation to the lower back, but keeping this tight. This is the key right here. Additionally, if you have enough core strength and stability in your anterior core musculature, then you should be able to contract these muscles in a more dominant fashion as compared to your spinal muscles. So that when you're rolling your back, your lower back, you should be able to actually release those spinal muscles and relax them while keeping this contracted, which is going to keep your spine in a neutral position and allow you to actually get tissue release in the lower back, which is probably the main reason why you're foam rolling the lower back in the first place. So in short, foam rolling your lower back might be dangerous, okay? If you can't control the position of your spine and you're going into hyperextension on there and your core is very, very weak and you're just starting off with fitness, then yes, this could be dangerous, and you might want to start off with some light stretching of the lower back, like child's pose from yoga, and couple that with some core strengthening like planks, just to kind of build up to a point where you are able to safely foam roll the lower back. But if you're a really serious athlete and you have a lot of core strength, then there's not really that much issue with foam rolling your lower back. And just ask anybody that foam rolls their lower back on a regular basis, ask them anecdotally if they feel tissue release after having done it. Certainly anybody that does this regularly will tell you that it definitely makes a difference for them. But like the NASM article says, if you have something like some sort of degenerative disc issue or spondyloarthritis of your spine, then pretty much any type of foam rolling and putting pressure directly on the spine is a no-no. With all of that being said, there are definitely some dangers associated with foam rolling that none of these articles floating around the internet even mention. Two things I'd like to bring to your consciousness are the density of your roller and also the position of the roller when you're rolling out your lats and your lower back. Firstly, as Mike Boyle says, who's a physical therapist, the density of the roller should correspond to the density of the athlete. So what that means is if you're a thick person, you have a lot of muscle mass and a lot of muscle tissue and fascia that's insulating the structure of your body, your ribs, and all of the joints, basically your skeleton. If you're a thick person, then you would probably do better with a thicker, more dense roller. Not thicker, but just a more dense roller. So something like a grid roller with a hard plastic core would be better suited to you because it's going to penetrate into the tissue and give you more release, and you're not going to be worried about putting pressure directly on your bones or your joints because you're more insulated. On the other hand, if you're somebody that's just starting off in fitness and you don't really have a lot of muscle tissue, then one of these hard, really dense rollers is not going to work well for you because it's a little too dense. It's going to penetrate right through your connective tissue and your muscle, and then it's going to put pressure right on your structure, okay? Your ribs, your joints, whatever you're rolling out. And you don't really want that. That's not advisable at all. You use a foam roller for myofascial release, to release muscle and connective tissue. It's definitely not advisable or advantageous to just put pressure directly on the bones. So if you are one of these people that doesn't have a lot of muscle mass, you'd be better suited to starting off with a less dense foam roller, something that's squishy, like a 100% foam roller instead of one of these grid rollers that have a hard core. Lastly, and this is a big issue, you need to keep pressure off of these lower ribs right here, okay? These things are very, very mobile, they're small, and just naturally there's not a lot of tissue around them to insulate them. And if you roll over this with your foam roller and you have all your body weight on that foam roller, it's really, really, really easy to fracture those ribs or even dislocate them. Typically I'll see this happen when people are either rolling their lower back or their lats. I used to think that people would intuitively know not to put pressure right on these ribs, but over the course of my career, I've seen several people, probably around 6 people, really hurt their ribs rolling onto this area, okay? And this is something that I think that the article that's floating around the internet definitely should have mentioned, because this is a major issue. Just in my hometown here, I've seen, like I said, several people hurt their ribs by foam rolling onto those lower ribs. So just make sure that you stay off of that area. When you're doing the lats, stay up high here. When you're rolling out the lower back or the mid back, stay central to the spine. Don't come off to the side here in this area over here. Well, there you have it. I hope that this video kind of cleared up some of the confusion in regards to whether or not it's safe to foam roll the lower back. And I hope I also shed some light on some of the real dangers, for everybody associated with foam rolling. If you enjoyed this video, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel right over here. Also, I'm being very active on Facebook and Instagram nowadays, so I would definitely appreciate a like and a follow on Instagram. I'll include links to both of those things in the description down below. On a concluding note here, I'm always looking for new questions to answer and new topics to address in my videos. So if you have any questions about injury prevention, corrective exercise, posture improvement, anything of that sort, shoot them my way. Leave a comment in the comment area down below, and I will definitely respond. If it's worthwhile to make a video, I'll definitely do that. Other than that, I'll see you next time.